guys, what's up? So this is going to be my worst books of 2019. I did the best books of 2019, and so now let's roast some books. Okay, so a lot of people are going to hate me for this because they are very unpopular opinions. But some of the books that I read this year just were not for me, and a lot of them seem to be popular reads for most people. So my first book that I did not enjoy whatsoever. I listened to the audiobook, so that might have been the issue, but I just hated all of the characters, hated the story. But the first book that I really hated this year was An Absolutely Unremarkable Thing by Hank Green. I found this so problematic. This book had a bisexual main character, and the representation was terrible, absolutely terrible. And the sci-fi portions, they just weren't good. I just didn't understand it, like the point of the book really, and it just rubbed me the wrong way the whole entire time I was listening to it. I finished it because I wanted to see if maybe the character gets better, maybe she becomes a better human, but really she was the same character. She was a flat character, no matter the fact that she was a normal person for a little bit of the book, and most of the book she was a YouTuber because she had a viral video. And this book is about a girl who finds a robot thing. That's where the science fiction comes in. I really don't understand why it was there. It's never really talked about on exactly why it was there. I think you're supposed to figure it out. I don't know. I didn't care to. But she finds this robot, she makes a video, it goes viral, and she just has to deal with like all these interviews, like everything, like her whole life changes. But it's really not good. I don't think it's executed well. It had an okay idea, but she kind of just like shit on her friends and her girlfriend. So the second book, I read this during the reading rush, and I read two of my favorite books during the reading rush, and then I ran into this one, and I wanted to literally just throw the book away. I know that sounds terrible, but I don't know what I was expecting. This was a sci-fi read as well. Yeah, we'll say it's a sci-fi read. And it's a bunch of short stories. I usually don't like books that are just filled with short stories, so maybe that's why. But I just felt like it was just really misogynistic. There was lots of talk about boobs, lots of talk about sex in general, like that was the most important thing. But it's set in the future. It's called Children of the New World. It's by Alexander Weinstein. I found this out thrifting. It was an advanced reader copy too, so I don't know if they changed anything within it, but it's really bad. It's just, none of the stories are long enough for me to care about any of the characters. It was just kind of nothing. It was a short book, so it was fine, but it left me with nothing. I was just like, oh, he's having sex again. Wow, they're talking about robot women. Like, it just was not great. The next one I didn't enjoy this year was The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. Listen, I love the movie. Like, I've been watching that movie pretty much like every year for the past like 7 or 8 years. It's so good, and it gets me every time. So I was like, I need to read the book. Because whenever I was little, or not little, but whenever I was like 12, I didn't realize that there was a book for it, so I was like, oh, I need to read this book. So this year, finally found the book. Okay, listen, I had the book for like 4 years and I haven't read it. Finally read the book, and it took me so long to get through it. It was nothing like the movie. I mean, okay, yeah, the whole plot thing, the same. It's the same. But the characters are terrible. Henry is, like, he's a shit character. A complete, like, asshole. And he is really creepy in it, too. So, I'm like, this is not the Henry I know. I know he's the original Henry, but he is not the Henry anyone wants. And then the girl, I forgot her name, but she, the wife, she is very, very annoying as well. So there's like no likable characters in here, and it's just not. And then like reading the story instead of just watching it, but like reading the story, I'm like, this is really creepy. Maybe this isn't okay, because he's kind of like naked in front of like a 5-year-old. So, it happens in the movie too, but apparently when it's written, I'm like, this is weird. But I think it's also because Henry had very creepy dialogue in the book. So if you don't know what Time Traveler's Wife is, Time Traveler's Wife is about a time traveler's life. And the time traveler, Henry, he is able to go back in time, go forward in time, and he keeps going back in time when his current wife is a little girl, and like when she's 18 and stuff. And the sex scenes in it, cringy. The next book that I had very high hopes for, because I liked her 2 previous books, but hated this one because she added other people's poetry, so it wasn't the same voice. It just didn't go along with it. Also, her poems in this one just weren't as strong as her other 2. It's The Mermaid's Voice Returns by Amanda Lovelace. Her other two, The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, and The Princess Saves Herself in this one, they're so amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love them. I have 2 copies of A Princess Saves Herself in this one. One's annotated, one isn't. And they're so good. And then I read this one. I bought it at Barnes & Noble, and I'm really upset. I bought it at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, this is not good. Why did this happen? So I'm hoping her other stuff is really good, because I know she's come out with a couple of books lately. And, like, I really love her. I love her writing. It's very feminist, it's just the type of poetry I like, because, like, I like modern poetry because I actually understand it. I'm a little dumb when it comes to the other types of poetry, so, yeah, I was really disappointed. Okay, guys, now to the final book that I really disliked this year. This one is Daisy Jones and the Six. This is a very unpopular opinion. I know so many booktubers that I watch, they absolutely love it. Emma Books loves it. And I can see where you could like it, where other people could like it. I'm not saying that if you like it, you're wrong. I personally hated it though. The characters were flat to me. I did read it. Most people say you should read the audiobook, but I had the book, I got it from the library, so I was like, I'm just gonna read it. I was so excited because I had just recently read Evelyn Hugo, so I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so good. And I was so disappointed. So I hope you enjoyed this. Worst books of 2019. Comment down below any books that you did not like that you read this year, or any comments on the books that I didn't like. And if you enjoyed them, tell me why. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.